Hola clase. So actually I am in your review for this week. We are looking at the test. And for today, it's Thursday. We just actually had class, but I'm projecting to Thursday. You want to make sure that you had your essay turned in by tomorrow. I had said by Friday would be fine. And then also you're looking at gramaticales cuatro for it's supposed to be to today. And then you want to do your repaso. So that was all for Thursday, Friday. And then for Monday, you're going to have your test. So this is what I'm going over in Edpuzzle today. So for this first page, you're going to go through the pages. Everything's in MindTap. Basically, I'm going to play the audio and just show you how it works for the first page. I like to give you at least one question per section.
Hacer el inventario. 1. 43 cuadernos.
So it's asking you for the artículo. So you're going to look for the artículo that it's saying and then the número. So basically you have to know that 43 cuadernos, you're looking for that number. 43 is 43. So you want to know your numbers 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So definitely know your 1 through 100 numbers for the test. For this section, it will be spelling out words for you and you have to type them in. So I'll just play the first one here.
1. R. E. L. O.
So remember your A, E, O, U. You really want to know your vowels and be able to spell out words. So it's going to basically ask you to type in the letters. I do go through these tests after you take them to review and make sure that everything looks good, meaning that they didn't correct something incorrect, like if you put a dash in there. But you don't need to put the dash. You're just writing the letters that you hear. So you definitely want to study your alphabet and know your letters. A, E, O, U, and then the rest of the alphabet too. In the textbook, remember that W is W, or it could be also W. And then I have heard people say Y for Y. So if you hear Y, it's not common, but if you hear that in the letters Y, then that could be Y. For this third section, you're going to see a picture of a classroom and you just want to be able to identify what the items are. Make sure that you say the, like for example, the map, the chair. That's necessary to get the full points. Include the definite articles. Remember el and la and los and las. You want to include those when you write the word. For this next section, you're going to have names of people like yo and Alicia and Laura and Gabriel and Lucia. You're going to be describing them. So for example, if it were yo, you could say like yo soy morena, yo soy inteligente, whatever you want to say, y inteligente. And then same thing for Alicia. You want to look at her. You want to decide if maybe you say like Alicia is young and blonde. Same thing with Laura. So you're just describing. You want to know your adjectives and also like redhead and all those adjetivos, pelirroja for a woman and pelirrojo for a male. And just in general, be able to describe people with basic adjectives. In this next section, you are using the verb ser. So you want to be able to look at words like yo and decide, is it going to be yo soy or yo eres or yo es or yo somos or yo sois or yo son. So you do need to know soy, eres, es, somos, soy, son, I am, yo soy, tú eres, you are, él es, he is, nosotros somos, we are, vosotros sois, y'all are, ellos son, they are. You're going to look at the subject and you're going to decide which form of ser should you use. You're going to write it in the space. For this section, it wants you to decide, is it going to be el, la, los, or las? Those are the 4 ways to say the. Or are we trying to say un, una, unos, or unas? Remember, un and una both mean a. So you want to know what the sentence is saying before you can determine. And unos and unas mean some. Mi mejor amigo es blank actor famoso. So in this case, we're probably trying to say, is it the famous actor or a famous actor? It's probably a famous actor. So in this case, we would say, mi mejor amigo es un doctor famoso. And it's going to be the same. So you want to look at the sentence and determine, are they saying the? Are they saying a? Are they saying some? And that's going to help you decide which one to put in there. Remember, you should look though, doctor is masculino, so it wouldn't be una doctor famoso, it would be un doctor famoso because everything has to agree. For this section, you want to know your subject pronouns. Remember, yo, I, tú, you, él, he, ella, she, usted, you formal, nosotros, we, vosotros, y'all, ellos, they, ellas, they, all females, ustedes, you all, if you're not from Spain. So which pronoun would you use? You want to know your subject pronouns. So take a look at those before you start taking your test when addressing another student in your class. So in this one, I would pick either él or ella, he or she, because it's one student. But if I were addressing my teacher, I might say usted. If I were addressing a group of boys, I would say what? Ellos, right? They. So you want to make sure that you know your subject pronouns to be able to answer the questions here. On this next page, you're writing a sentence about how many of the following things are in a classroom or wherever it's telling you. So for example, in el salón de clases, silla 24. So we want to use the word hay. Remember, hay means there is or there are. So we're trying to say in the classroom, there are 24 sillas. So in this case, we would say en el salón de clases hay 24 sillas. So it's going to be 24 sillas because we're saying 24 chairs. So hay is, remember, there is or there are. It's used a lot in Spanish to say there is or there are. Hay 24 sillas. And you're going to have other sentences that you have to write, but that's one example. You have a model here too. En la escuela hay 10 profesores. Read the models. Try to take a look at those so that you are clear and you know what you're supposed to be doing. For this next section, you usually have a reading section. So you're going to read what's here and you actually can answer the questions in English or Spanish. So I'm not going to show the questions right now, but you're going to look at the whatever it's an advertisement. So you want to see what it's talking about and asking what the questions are asking. So you can answer the questions in English, but you're going to do a little reading here. For the second last section, como eres, como es, you're writing 3 sentences describing yourself and 3 sentences describing a famous person that you either like or dislike in Spanish. Make sure you mention both physical and personal characteristics. So you want to make sure you know your adjetivos. So study those, talking about like alto, bajo, moreno, pelirrojo, joven, viejo. And then things like idealista, famoso, rico, right? Those are more personal characteristics. So when you're talking about yo, you're going to say yo soy, and then you want to at least use 3 sentences about yourself. So yo soy blank, blank, blank. Try to make them 3 separate sentences. And then the person, so you could say like, you could say something like, oh, Cardi B S, right? And then you would say 3 things about Cardi B. Cardi B S, Cardi B S. And you could also say no S, right? If you wanted to say she's not something. I'll accept that too. I will be manually grading these essays. So make sure, try your best to make everything agree. If you're male, you want to use your trabajador. Yo soy trabajador. If you're a female, you want to use trabajadora. We usually have a cultura section. This last section is based on some of the readings we did in class. The stereotypes, for example, Spanish is only spoken in Europe and South America. Is that cierto or falso? These are all cierto falsos. So do your best to complete those. Please, when you take the test, do not use your notes as much as possible. It's not helping me know what you know, or you know what you know. So do your best to do this in a high integrity way. And that's it. Es todo. So this is the exam. And check Blackboard. If we just go into week 4, I just want to pull that up really quickly just to show you what's coming up, because we do have that exam on Monday, due on Monday by midnight, this exam we were just talking about. But if we just look at our week 4, we also are supposed to be previewing our objectives for Capítulo 2, and you're doing your Ready and Learn It. And that's it. So just for Lexicas Uno, you're just getting introduced to that first family vocabulary, and then we'll be working with that in class on Tuesday next week. All right. Muchas gracias. Adios.